Hey guys, it's Tim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So as most have seen by now, Chris Jericho did appear at last weekend's All In event. He was dressed as Pentagon and he did attack Kenny Omega. Well, Chris Jericho did talk about the whole endeavor, the whole backstory and all on his Talk is Jericho podcast this week, and it's pretty interesting. So he said initially, months before All In, Cody contacted him and said, hey, can we get you to work the show? And Jericho said no initially. After pondering over it for a while, he agreed and said that he didn't want to work a match, but he wanted to do some sort of a run-in. Cody at first pitched for him being Bernard the Business Bear. Jericho said, no, the bear thing has been done too many times, let's think of something else. And then he was pitched attacking Kota Ibushi. Jericho then turned that down, stating that it wouldn't really lead to anything. Yes, Kota Ibushi is tied to Kenny Omega, so they could tie it in that way, but his thought process was if he was going to do anything, it would be with Omega. That is when Nick Jackson came up with the idea of the lights going out, the lights coming back on, people thinking nothing happened, and Jericho was dressed as Pentagon. Now, as far as Jericho getting dressed as Pentagon, that was a whole different story, apparently. They told Pentagon, bring 2 masks, bring 2 costumes. Pentagon brought 2 masks and 2 costumes, but he doesn't have 2 of the same. Chris Jericho had to send his assistant to a Home Depot moments before they closed so they can get gold paint and paint the black and silver costume that Pentagon did bring as the extra. But as we saw, Pentagon was wearing a gold suit, black and gold, and the only other one he had with them was black and silver. Jericho did note that most guys probably would have been pissed off if you had to spray paint one of their costumes because they're not cheap, but Pentagon was cool throughout the whole thing, and Jericho even told him, hey, this is going to be worth something, so if you really need the money, you could just sell it later as a Jericho-worn thing. But with that, everything else did kind of go off without a hitch. There was an issue with Jericho actually coming out of his dressing room a little too early, hoping that nobody would spot him before he got down to the ring. And then once he did get down to the ring, for the most part, everything went off perfectly. And then Jericho had to, fast as he could, get on a charter plane, fly to Kansas from Chicago, and he literally got to his Fozzy concert less than 20 minutes before he had to be on stage. So, if anybody wants to say who gets the credit for Jericho being Pentagon, that's got to go to Nick Jackson. But that's going to do it for this episode. Remember to comment below, like and share this video, like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, subscribe here on YouTube, and follow PWUnlimited.net for the latest in pro wrestling news.